Hi and welcome to the first tutorial done by me, Sam. Hopefully it's going to be the first of many tutorials. Anyway, if you'd like to open up Fireworks and start a new document about 500 pixels times 500 pixels, we'll begin. Start off by going to the shape tool, as you can see here on the nav bar. Then click on it and hold down, and a drop down menu should appear. Scroll down to the rounded rectangle tool, as you can see here on the picture. Then make sure that the fill color is set to red and the line color is set to red, otherwise you might come out with a cartoony looking pen. Draw a smallish rectangle in the middle of your screen. As you can see here, it's not too big, it's not too small. Then go down to the little yellow nodes at the bottom of the shape. Here, if you click on them and drag inwards, it will round the bottom of the shape into an ellipse, but we don't want it to look like this because this just looks like a rounded rectangle. So we want to go to the sub-selection tool, as you can see here, or the white arrow. Now if you click on the shape, more white nodes now will appear. As you can see here, these are different from the yellow ones. If you click on one of them using the arrow, like the ones at the bottom, you can drag and change the shape of the ellipse. We want it to be smaller. If you do this, an editing sub-elements dialog box should come up. If you check the don't show again box and click OK, it won't come up again. Draw another rectangle again after you've done the first one underneath it. As you can see here, create the bottom of the pen. Go down to the nodes again and round it off to create another ellipse. You have to go back to the sub-selection tool now and then select the white nodes and just lift it up a bit. Now the blue nodes can change the shape differently. If you just play about with that, eventually you should get it. Go to the layers panel and you'll see that the rounded rectangle, that's the longer one, should be selected. Click and drag that down below the smaller one and it will go underneath. If you go to filters and then shadow and glow and inner shadow, and then set the settings to what I've done here, as you can see, then you'll get a nice 3D effect on your pen lid. As you can see, it's starting to take shape now. It'll look a bit weird until we've gotten about halfway along, just because you haven't finished yet. Do the same thing on the bottom one. Try and get the shadow to be evenly matched, otherwise you'll come out with a weird looking pen and the illusion won't be complete. Now do the same thing again, repeat the steps in the last two, and change the colour. Instead of a black colour, change it to a white colour, and this will create a light reflection. Then go back to the rounded rectangle tool again. Now we're going to create the clip and select a goldish orangey colour. You'll see why in a minute. Now if you draw another rectangle between the top rectangle and the bottom one, then we can create a clip on the pen, as you can see here, but it doesn't quite match the other two, so now we're going to use a different technique called beveling. So if you go back to the filters or add live filters and go to bevel and boss in the eye candy section, don't know why they called it that, a bit weird. Yeah. And then you will come up, another dialog box will come up, but this time it's an editing menu. Now on the top bar there is a list of different things you can do. Instead of basic, which you should be set to begin with, go to lighting and there should be a sphere with light on it. If you change the direction and inclination to 188 and 67, you'll get a nice lighting effect. And change the settings. If you go back to basics, to what I've done here, it should create a nice 3D effect on the clip, as you can see here. I've also darkened deeper areas just to highlight it a bit more. Go back to the live filters and go add shadow and glow and drop shadow, as you can see here, because we're going to make it look even more 3D now. Change the settings again to this. Make sure the opacity is set down quite low, otherwise it would be a really dark shadow. If you can see now it makes it look like it's actually coming off the page. Just create that 3D effect. Now move your pen up slightly after grouping it by selecting everything, holding Control and G together. This will group it. Then you need to go to the edit menu and copy it. Now you'll see if you press Control and V that another image will be pasted there. If it's not like mine, you need to click on the other shape and drag across and it will be there. Right click and go to transform and flip vertical. This will turn the pen upside down, as you can see here. Sorry, it's a bit blurry, I've got a dodgy camera. Now we need to go to the distort tool. If you know where the scale tool is, underneath the black arrow, click on it, drop down menu will come down again, and there will be a distort tool. Play about with the black nodes, as you can see here, and you should be able to create a nice 3D effect, like a shadow being drawn across a plane. Make things wider and thinner, just to create that 3D effect. Then you need to go to the command menu and go down to creative, because this is going to make the shadow look even more amazing. Go across to fade image. Another dialog box should come up now. If it hasn't, go back and click on it again. You need to select the one in the top right hand corner and then click OK. Here you will see that the shadow has now been faded, and this creates a nice 3D effect like it's on glass. Move the black line around until you're happy with how the shadow is going. Change the canvas color back to black by deselecting everything, and down the bottom it will have a little box with canvas next to it. Click on it and you can change the canvas color. Here you will see that the reflection rather than shadow has been portrayed. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's been great making it. Took me some time. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to email me. Going to be doing some more. If you've got any ideas or need to know how to do anything on Fireworks, then email me. Just so you know, I've only got version 8, so CS3 you might need to look elsewhere, but I do know how to do some stuff on CS3, like create slideshows, etc. Okay, well, hope you enjoyed it, and bye.